Hey guys, welcome to another Python tutorial, and in this video we are going to discuss loops. So if you're ready, let's get started. So this is a new topic that we've never discussed before, and this is looping. So looping is when you go and repeat the same code a certain number of times. So for example, let's just create a variable, call it myInt, and we are going to set it to 0. Now let's say that we want to, get myInt to 10. Well, what we can do is do myInt plus equal 1, and we could do this 10 times, and then we could just print it, myInt, to the terminal, and if we run this, then we should get, 10. But this is a very redundant and time-consuming task, especially, let's say, for example, we would want to go to 100. Well, we would not print this 100 times. So a better way would be to use loops. Now there are two types of loops in Python. We have the for loop and the while loop. But in this lesson, we're just going to focus on the while loop. So to create a while loop in Python, all we are going to do is while, and this is the keyword you type in to create a while loop, while myInt does not equal, and we're just using comparison operators. So if you do not know what comparison operator is, I have a link in the bottom of the description below. So all we are going to do is while myInt does not equal 10, then we're going to increment by 1. So by doing this, we will also get the same result, 10. But as you can clearly tell, this was practically just one line of code. Instead of doing what I did before, which was copying and pasting this item 10 times, instead all we did was we just used a while loop and we just looped 10 times. So this is very useful, as you can clearly tell. It saves a lot of time. So this is one example. Let's use another example. And instead of doing this, why don't we just use a string? So for example, let's say I have this, or my stir right here. And let's say that we wanted to add the letters string, S-T-R-I-N-G. So what we can do here is we can say while myStir does not equal string, because that's the value it's going to have, then keep looping. So technically what this is going to do is while myStir does not equal string, then we're going to keep looping. If myStir never equals string, well, it's just going to keep looping on and on forever. So that's the one thing you have to know about while loops, is if there is no condition that will be met, then it's just going to keep on looping on and on forever. So that's just one thing you always have to consider when using a while loop. And that is very bad for a program, because if it just keeps on looping, well, eventually the program is going to just crash. So now we're saying myStir does not equal string. So now what we can do here is we can use if and else statements and elif statements, which I have already talked about in the previous video. So if myStir does not equal anything, then we are going to myString plus equal s. And this is an operator that we haven't really gone over yet. We can use the plus equal for integers, but we can also use it for strings. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a different video on all the operators you can use for strings, because strings are kind of special, because you cannot use this, that just doesn't work. But you can use this. So this is called the concatenation operator. So myString, we're adding s to it and we're assigning it to myString again. So if it equals nothing, then add s. So here we go. We have this whole use case where we're practically adding letter by letter. And of course, this is not the useful way to do it at all. But since we do not know anything about arrays and that type of stuff, or tuples or sets, then in this scenario, I'm just going to have to do it this way. We could have also used, if we really wanted to, we could have also used the elif statement, and that will have worked the same way. But for this case, I'm just using completely if statements. Okay, so now if we run this, well, we get nothing. But that's because there's a simple problem with it. So this is a problem actually with while loops. If you do have a mistake, as you can clearly tell, we're just going to be looping forever. So the system is not really looping because we're not printing anything to the terminal. But if I did print something to the terminal, let's say print hello, you're going to just see it's just going to be looping over and over and over again. And that's because my string never equals string for some reason. So now we're just going to be printing hello. So the problem with that is right here. So we're saying if my string does not equal this, which initially it does, then do this. So what I have to do is put equal. If my string equals that, then do all this. And let's run that. And boom, we get string. So that is the thing with while loops, as I've already stated maybe like 5 times now. If there is no condition that is made to be met, then it's just going to loop forever, and that is definitely bad for a program. So be careful when you are using while loops. But that is essentially how you use while loops. So if you like this video, please give it a like, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video.